position, though, so he is going to have to do more than a little bit of work in this race for sure. It is his teammate from the stable at Hendricks Motorsport that is on pole. That is Jill Linster in a very strong position. As for Martin Dubeck, the number 7 car starting from 3rd on the grid. So he's going to have a little bit of work to do, but he comes in with a healthy lead in the championship. 33 points worth of championship lead over young Patrick Schauber in the RDV competition machine. Jill Linster, 51 back on 3rd position. Thomas Cressones in 4th position. Thomas Tuffel in 5th position in the standings at the moment. Now, Florian Richard leads the rookie trophy. Melvin de Groot is 7th in rookie trophy. Ariana Casoli leading in the lady trophy standings. So a very interesting picture that is developing, and it's a picture that at the moment is firmly in favour of Martin Dubeck. But the question remains, will Martin Dubeck still be there after this race? He should lead the championship going into the final race of the weekend. The question is, by how much? If he wins the race today, that really puts him in a strong position. However, if Patrick Schauber in particular is ahead of him, or if Jill Linster claims the win from pole position, he might not be quite as comfortable as he would like going into Sunday's race. You see there the points breakdown, double points on offer in the playoffs, which this year have been extended into the final 2 rounds of the season. And of course, there's more than just the Drivers' Championships as well. There's the Team Championship, where all 4 races are combined into one effective 250-kilometer race result. And that always creates an interesting picture as well for the season as a whole. It's going to be a really compelling day here at the Circuit Zolder. You see here the Hoosier tyres that we run in this series. Now, as you can see there, 1 new set of tyres per driver on the weekend. Now, that means that the tyre that is racing today in this race also did qualifying, and it will also race tomorrow in EuroNASCAR 2. So that is going to be a key point as well. Tyre conservation is always key in this series. We've seen that time and time again, particularly in race 2. You see the effect of those who have looked after their tyres that little bit better. There you see the map, the only pan-continental series currently in the NASCAR landscape is the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Of course, the NASCAR Cup Series makes its way down to Mexico next year. So that is a nice international expansion for the Cup Series. But you've got series across North and South America, of course, in the NASCAR portfolio these days. And we see more and more crossover as well between all of our series, which is amazing to see. And we've already announced the 2025 calendar as well, which is effectively unchanged, but quite a few of our drivers feeding back that that is exactly what they wanted. We've got some great circuits with great local fan bases on our calendar. Of course, the highlights being numerous across the season. Be you a British fan, of course, then it will be the Speed Fest for you. If you're based in Italy, you'll love the event in Vallelunga. But they're always an exciting time. And of course, for the 2nd year in a row, we are at the Raceway Ben Ray. We're on the oval, and that will be a huge boon once again to see them racing on the oval, on the Banks turns in the Netherlands. The home event, of course, for Hendricks Motorsport, who are running that championship leader in this category in EuroNASCAR 2, that being Martin Dubeck. Now, of course, the Zolder circuit, a circuit with plenty of challenges in its wake, some great overtaking opportunities in those chicanes, some deep braking zones to consider as well. For example, the Boulderberg box towards the end of the 2nd sector into the final sector. Great long braking zone there. Same goes to the penultimate corner, the first phase of the Jackie Hicks box. That is a particularly interesting turn to navigate as well. We get a look here from overhead at the circuit. Of course, it has seen some changes over the years. Those two pinch points as well, particularly on the first lap, turns 5 and 7 on the overhead map we're looking at there. The Klein chicane and the Villeneuve chicane are two corners that really do force the field to either go single file or to make contact with each other. And sometimes I don't think the drivers themselves have much control over which of the two options they're given. This circuit really does suit EuroNASCAR racing down to a T, and we are very excited to see how this one goes. Now, Patrick Schauber, 33 points back in the championship. He is some 18 points clear of Jill Linster in third. Realistically, he is by far the most likely contender to Martin Dubek in the championship, but he starts today's race on the back foot. He's 7th on the grid. That is going to be a lot of work for Patrick Schauber, and we saw it earlier on today from Liam Hazeman. Being down there in the latter half of the top 10 means you can quite easily drop positions. Even if theoretically the form book says you should be moving up the field, sometimes it just doesn't work out in your favor and you end up dropping back. So you saw the sweeping going on around the circuit, some gravel kicked up by our previous race out on the track for the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. So that will make life a little bit more tricky for the drivers as well. Of course, the circuit is ever evolving. Some of these drivers will have competed in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier this afternoon, but for some, they won't have been out since this morning. For most of the field, they haven't been out since qualifying this morning. It is going to be a very interesting run to that first corner, an interesting top 4 as well. Jill Linster on pole position, of course. He has a shot still. Perhaps an outside shot, but a shot nonetheless at the championship. Claudio Remeggio Capelli alongside him, running high off the thrill of a race win at Oschersleben last month. Martin Dubek looking to consolidate his championship lead and put himself in a strong position going into Sunday. And then you've got Jack Davidson, who, of course, much like Claudio Remeggio Capelli, has experienced that thrill of a first win this season and would very much like to secure win number 2 this weekend. Of course, a victory at the end of a racing calendar does so much for a team, does so much for drivers, because the sponsors are watching and you can maybe get some better deals at the end of the year, get some higher grade blue chip sponsors on the car if you have a strong run at the end of the year. So then, cars are queuing up at the moment. Now, of course, we've had some shuffling around on the grid as well. We've got some new faces to talk about. Reza Sardeha, he's got some new sponsors on the car there. Those are Ryan Vargas's sponsors, because those two are now teammates together. You can see the number 11 car there just poking out of its garage. The number 34 car, that's worth talking about as well. Thomas Tuchel, who races for Race Art Technology. Now, we've discussed the championship standings. He is 5th in the points. He had a fairly rough go of it in Oschersleben. Of course, he won the first race on the road, but he was penalised for his discrepancies in that race and dropped down much further down the order with a 30-second penalty. And he's not had a great run of it so far today either. There have been persistent engine issues this weekend. And therefore, he will be just hoping, I think, to finish the race more than anything. He did get some laps in the EuroNASCAR Pro earlier on, but they were interrupted laps from the back of the grid. He then pulled into the pits on several occasions, and he once again will begin from 25th on the grid for this race. So it's going to be a tricky one for Tuchel. Now, the countdown to command is due in 6 minutes, but that is not going to be the reality because we're running slightly behind schedule after some qualifying and races that have taken place between the EuroNASCAR Pro and the EuroNASCAR 2 race. So I suspect the countdown to command will be as soon as we can, effectively. We'll see how that plays out in due course. So the likes of Thomas Dombrowski will be one to watch in this race as well. We're talking about the kind of transfer market that we've had between rounds. Now, he is running the PK car sport machine this weekend. It's still the number 66 car for Thomas Dombrowski, but it is a very familiar PK car sport machine. And what does that mean? Well, that means that he's got a new teammate as well, Anthony Kumpen, sharing the car. And I'm sure the experience of Anthony Kumpen is helping push that car into an interesting direction. Now, they did have some damage, as reported by Anthony Kumpen, at the end of the EuroNASCAR Pro race, but I'm sure they have diligently worked on that. So then the cars will head out onto the circuit in just a few moments. With any luck, I suspect. So then cars will be released shortly. And another driver we should talk about as well as Thomas Chrysonis, because he starts 5th on the grid. That's another great qualifying position for a driver who's had a really great year for Marco Stipp Motorsport this season. He is still there or thereabouts in the championship battle as well. 4th in the points. Could still be a factor, could still end up with a championship podium for sure, just 11 points away from Jill Linster. So Chrysonis looking to have a strong weekend from P4. And the driver who really seemed to hit his stride at Brands Hatch this year has gotten better and better ever since. Got his first podium there at Brands Hatch, and it seemed to just instill that confidence in him that he can do it. You see the 55 car, that of course being one of the Club Motorsport entries. Fabrizio Armetta being joined this weekend by Andres Beers in the car. So another Belgian driver added to the grid. He'll be a non-scorer in the championship, as will the 25 car of Arthur Rush, the French driver, sharing that with Frédéric Gabillon this weekend. That is a test and development vehicle effectively for the future of EuroNASCAR, the EuroNASCAR organization, putting together some potential new developments for future seasons, including 2025, the exacts of which are not public, but we can be sure that, as always, an improved package will be on the way shortly as we continue to innovate and improve these wonderful V8 machines. Now, cars making their way onto the circuit. We will be a few minutes before rolling for sure on the formation lap. There is the number 50 car of Lindstedt. Of course, we'll be right up there at the front. Dombrowski, I'm very interested to see how Dombrowski performs in a race with the PK car sport machine. Of course, he's always had the benefit of experienced heads around him, be they Sebastian Blekemolen and Mark Goossens at Team Blekemolen previously, but now here in the PK car sport machine, he of course has Anthony Kumpen driving the car with him, and that could well be a little bit of a cheat code in a sense. He might have some more perspective and a better setup than perhaps he has had before. We'll have a look at that and see. Certainly two top teams, Team Blekemolen and the PK car sport crew. But sharing with the team boss can often pay dividends, and we'll see what the Frenchman can do. He's 8th in the points at the moment. Speaking of championship battles, there is also the matter at hand in the Legend Trophy, which Melvin Groot is currently leading, 7th overall in the points. Claudio Remedio Capelli is 31 back from him. But of course, Capelli further up the grid today, in contention potentially for a victory from the front row of the grid. If Capelli gets a good result today, he could well steal away that Legend Trophy championship on this final weekend here at Zolder. The other subclass, the rookie class, of course, Florian Richard, is currently leading that. He's 10th overall in the standings, albeit only 8 points away from Victor Neumann. So that is a very close run thing as well. Mario Ercoli is also still a factor in that rookie trophy battle. So we'll keep an eye on that as well this weekend. Certainly the rookie trophy fight is a lot less comfortable for the current points leader, Florian Richard, than Martin Dubek's situation. Yes, Dubek is by no means secure, fully secure with the championship, but he certainly has the high ground. And I believe that we might be heading down to the grid. Is that correct? Possibly not then. I heard something, some command in my ear, but didn't quite grasp what it was. Of course, the cars are still making their way there. And some jogging going on, I can see from Andre. He's busy. It's going to be a fairly short, of course, pre-grid here because the schedule is being running behind a little bit at the moment in this paddock, so they'll be rushing through. And I now understand that Andre has found a driver, so we're going to head down and have a chat.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm here with the championship leader, with Martin Dubek. In the pro race, you saw how Girelli did it to extend the championship lead. What's your plan?
We will see. Yesterday I had some brake issues, and today for the quali we could not find right setup, but I think we finally found it. So let's see what happened there after the start. It will be important, and also how about the weather, because maybe it will rain, but we are prepared for everything, and let's see. It's everything is possible now, so we have a big gap there, 33 points. It should be nice to win or be on the podium, so let's see and cross fingers.
Right, thank you so much. He is having the big picture in mind. Back to you, Adam.
Yeah, Martin has been acting with the big picture in mind for much of this season. Had a great early lead, and then certainly coming into playoff season since Most, he has been very much thinking championship and big picture. The stats card for Martin Dubek reads 4 pole positions, 6 wins, 9 top 5s, and even 10 top 10 finishes. Let's go back down to Andre, though. He's still chatting to our drivers.
Thank you so much, Jill Insta with me. How would you describe your perfect day today?
Yeah, pole, starting first, finishing first, winning the race. That would be the perfect day for me.
And what should happen to Dubek? I know it's nothing you wish, especially for a teammate, but if you want to have the title, something needs to happen.
Yeah, but that's not on me. Like, I would never say something. I never hope that any one of the whole guys in the field, everything happens bad to us. So yeah, even a crash. No, I wish no one a crash.
All right, then good luck and have fun. Thank you.
There we go. Jill Linster on pole position, looking to try and maybe narrow that deficit. Perhaps the championship win is a far reach, but it's a reach he's confident he can make. He can certainly aim for that second place, that vice championship status. With Patrick Schauber down in 7th place and him on pole, it is very possible as we go back down to Andre.
Thank you so much. I'm rushing a little bit because we have no time left. Claudio Remigio Capelli, our race winner from Germany, and we're getting used to have you here on the front row. How are you feeling?
The sensation is good. Well, it's the same as last time, a rat in a cage, because all around there are a lot of beasts that are ready to fight. So I will ready to contrast that.
What about the Legend Trophy? You have to gain some ground on Melvin de Groot. Do you think about it?
I come in Zolder. I didn't check the
standings.
classification. Yeah, I'm here only to have some fun and to say thanks to the team. Hoping in a podium to go home very relaxed. No chance for me for the championship. But
all right, having fun is the most important thing for Claudio Remigio Capelli. Back to you, Adam, and I'm coming now to the commentary booth.
He is on his way up. 1 minute and 40 seconds, apparently, until the command is given. So we are rushing through this pre-race to get the action underway here at the circuit Zolder. The command will be given by a special guest of the series partner, of course, the title sponsor, long-term title sponsor, that being Whelen. And we look forward to hearing that command. It will come in just over a minute's time. And it'll be from Justin Usch, who will have a tough act to follow, actually. My respect to Nathan Stewart earlier on in the day, who really gave it full beans ahead of the EuroNASCAR Pro race. Certainly a tense time in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series paddock. It's always very, very interesting when we get to this part of the year. One false move for Martin Dubeck in this race could completely change the complexion of his season. He's not too far down the grid, but he could still certainly find himself in drama. We have less than 20 seconds until the command is given, so let's go down there now.
Ja, collega was heel gemotiveerd. Hè. We gaan zien of Justin Oge hetzelfde kan doen. Justin, ik geef jou het woord.
Drivers, start your engines.
Dan gaan we dan de motoren aan de praat.
Excellent stuff. So the engines fire into life. Looked like he enjoyed that. It's a feeling of great power to trigger the sounds of these V8 motors. And we've got a very interesting grid for this race by my estimation. Linster on that pole position. Martin Dubeck right behind him. Dubeck knows he can afford to finish behind Linster for sure, being 51 points back. What he can't afford to do is be complacent. He can't afford to keep being dragged through the field, down the order. The further down the order they get, the further into the battles you get, the more risk there is for someone in his position with a championship lead, but not a definitive one. As we've said, the respite for him is the fact that Patrick Schauber is in 7th position. Schauber has certainly got some work to do. The grid being hurriedly vacated, and then the cars will roll on this formation lap. Now, there are chances of some more drama beyond the on-track action in this race, and that is a projected forecast that rain may come during this race. Now, that is an interesting one, certainly, if we do end up with rain during the race. Now, the teams have been told, Andre, to have tyres in the pit lane. I understand that you're here with me now, and well, talk me through it, Andre. If we do start to have a rain shower, what's that going to look like for the teams?
When I look into the sky right now, it doesn't seem so severe. I see a lot of blue sky, some clouds. So I'm not 100% sure if there's going to be rain or not. The weather forecast says no rain. That's what my information are. So I think we're going to have a dry race, but I'm not a weatherman.
That's why we have Jan walking around to tell us this stuff. Jill Linster, Claudio Remeggio Capelli, our front row of the grid. Martin Dubeck and Jack Davidson form row 2. Then it is Krasonis and Dombrovski on the 3rd row of the grid. Dombrovski, of course, in his debut race, PK Car Sport. Patrick Schauber alongside Melvin de Groot in row 4 of the grid. Then Victor Neumann and Julian Reberg. Of course, rookie trophy scrap going on there on row 5. Viti Riala also involved with that, and Roberto Benedetti rounding out the top dozen of the field. Then it's Andres Beers in 13th place in the 55. Luli Del Castello in 14th. Simone Giussani and Kenko Mura in 15th and 16th. Then it's Nick Strickler and Florian Richard down to 18th position. Mikael Blekemolen is next alongside Reza Sardeja. Mario Ercoli is followed by Dominic Schack. Then it's Ariana Casoli, Thomas Doffel and Arthur Rusche that make the order up. So 25 cars total. It looks like the 25, the development car from EuroNASCAR, is going to be starting from the pit lane. The 24 cars will create a wall of thunder down towards the first corner. And Andre, I can only imagine the commentary box is going to shake.
Oh yes, it's going to shake, and I see a lot of spectators here on the grandstands and also on the other parts of the track. So we have a lot of people waiting for those V8 engines to roar and make this place a true NASCAR Colosseum here at Circuit Zolder. I am ready to roll. I expect a very close and intense race here for the overall championship between Martin Dubek, Patrick Schober and Jill Linster. We also have to take a look at the several trophies, like the Legend Trophy with Claudio Remigio Capelli battling against Melvin de Groot. And in the Rookie Trophy, Victor Neumann maybe has a good shot of taking over the championship lead. Julian Rebeck ready to strike back. Veti Rayala, he has he showed good performance in the last races, so he may be a factor there as well. So everything's set for another interesting playoff race with double points on the line, and we're waiting for the cars to form the 2x2 formation, and then we have it like the typical US style 2x2 rolling start. I cannot wait for this race to start.
It's going to be a massively important race. Any dramas for our championship contenders could be the definitive seismic effect on the 2024 EuroNASCAR 2 Championship. It's Jill Linster and Claudio Remigio Capelli on the front row of the grid. Your championship leader, Martin Dubek, is just behind Linster there on row 2 alongside Jack Davidson. We're underway. We're racing at Zolder, and it's Capelli with a good run around the outside, but he starts to lose grip a little bit there on the outside of the corner. So it is Linster that leads the way in through the first few corners. Capelli second place, Dubek third position by the looks of it. Yes, he is still there in P3. Then it's side by side between Chrysonis and Davidson for fourth place. I think Chrysonis may have got it done there around the outside. Yes, he has moved up to fourth position. Good going. Oh, and there's a moment further back in the pack. Big crash further back in the field. Not sure who that was, but there was certainly a car having a spin. Looks like it may have even got into the barriers. We see there Patrick Schober navigating his way through the field. He's still just ahead of Melvin de Groot in the battle for seventh position. But it is Linster that leads the way. We're still under green flag in spite of what looked like some dramas going on further back in the pack. Everybody filing through. You see what I mean here? I was talking about it in the pre-race, just struggling to find a way to go too wide through that first corner, but Nick Strickler was giving it a go, and it's Kenko Miura, along with potentially, I think that could be the 11 car of Reza Sardeja that may have had dramas there. In fact, Sardeja is still running. It's Miura and Del Castello that have had dramas. The 74 and the 54 cars are stranded there on the inside of turn 4, and not the start they would have wanted. But up front, the important protagonists in the championship battle seem to have made it through the first lap. Claudio Remigio Capelli is going to have a look. No, he's not going to have a look. I thought he might dive to the inside there. He's just biding his time for now, Andre.
Yes, he lost a little bit of momentum there. He tried to attack Jill Linster, but that didn't work. And Martin Dubek has a lot of work to do, keeping Thomas Chrysonis at bay, and then we have Jack Davidson in the pink machine trying to make a move on Chrysonis to get back that position. But at the moment it looks good for Jill Linster in first position. He said he doesn't care what Martin Dubek is doing. He's just trying to maximize his own results, and he doesn't want anyone to be involved in any unfortunate situations. So he's just trying to get the best out of the 50 car, and at the moment he's leading the race. Victor Neumann is only second in the Rookie Trophy. He fell back behind Julian Rebeck in 9th position. So that's interesting for the standings in the Rookie Trophy for newcomers in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And Claudio Capelli, he looks really racy here in his Academy Cafe Motorsport car with the number 5, the yellow car. He put this car in victory lane for the first time in his career in Oschersleben in Germany, the man with the famous beard. And he put his name onto the winners list in the world of NASCAR. That was a big milestone for the Legend Trophy driver Claudio Remigio Capelli, and he's trying to put or to score another win here in EuroNASCAR 2, and he's battling really intense at the moment with Jill Linster and Martin Dubeck. He's really trying to just maintain at the moment the third position. He has a little bit of a gap now on Thomas Krasonis, but Adam, I see that Martin Dubeck is just trying to do what he has to do, having the big picture in mind, not to do any silly moves, and I think that's the right way to win a championship.
Claudio Remigio Capelli with a sideways moment there coming through that sweeping corner at turn 2. Capelli has been pressuring Linster here all throughout the race thus far, and I don't think that's going to halt all race long. Think Gianmarco Ercole versus Mark Goossens earlier on. However, I do suspect that Capelli is going to give it a go if he possibly can. Of course, he's got a Legends Trophy that he wants to win here this weekend if he possibly can, and a victory while Melvin de Groot is down in 8th position would certainly aid and abet that. In the Rookie Trophy, Julian Ribberg leads the way. He's 9th overall, just ahead of Victor Neumann. Victor Reala is behind Roberto Benedetti, down in 12th overall. The Legend Trophy leader is, of course, Capelli. Your overall leader, Jill Linster. Martin Dubeck, though, he's done the first thing important. He's got through that opening phase of the race where often anything can and will happen. And he has got through it exactly where he started, in 3rd place. Now, that's strong points being scored, albeit in an ideal world, he doesn't want to drop points to Linster, but he is gaining points over Patrick Schauber. So it would still be a net gain for his championship lead going into the finale as things stand. So all things looking fairly okay for the leader, the driver of the red bannered car, the leader in the championship, I should say. I don't know if it's quite so good right now for the actual race leader, though, because Claudio Remigio Capelli is a driver who is uncompromising in battle. He's always fair. He's been praised for that by rivals before, for being a very fair driver to race against. But he's come from the world of Legends competition, where you are actively encouraged to make bold moves. And I think that that culture has rather shaped the way that Claudio Remigio Capelli drives a race car.
Yeah, definitely, and he's looking again on the inside, trying to make a move on Linster. Linster keeping the door a little bit open there in the first chicane, but Capelli cannot make it stick, so Linster defends his lead. He stood on his racing line and defended his first position. And you said it before in EuroNASCAR Pro, it's all about maintaining a lead of minimum 10 points. Then you have it still in your own hands to win a championship, and Martin Dubeck at the moment would lose 12 points to Linster, but still it would be enough for Martin Dubeck to have it all under control in the second race tomorrow on Sunday in EuroNASCAR 2 to become the first ever driver to win 2 EuroNASCAR championships. Back in 2021, the Czech driver already won the EuroNASCAR 2 championship. He has a lot of track time as he's pulling double duties again, racing in Pro and in the 7 Hendricks Motorsport car. And at the moment he's doing everything he needs to do, and I think he's closing in on Claudio Remigio Capelli right now. Thomas Krasonis, he stays on the back bumper of Martin Dubeck but cannot find any way to attack him. And here we have the 66 car, Thomas Dombowski, the French driver, now racing under the PK Car Sport banner. He's doing a good job right now behind Jack Davidson and in front of Patrick Schauber, one of the title contenders here in EuroNASCAR 2, but Schauber needs a win if he wants to keep his championship dreams alive.
Certainly does need a victory today, that much is for certain. Realistically, anyone not named Martin Dubeck needs a win. And there is the number 69 car of Melvin de Groot in 8th position overall, still just behind Patrick Schauber. Schauber not making the headway that he wants to make right now. He really does want to try and break through into the top 5, into the podium, if he possibly can, but it's tricky to get the moves done here at Zolder. There are good overtaking opportunities, but it can be very tricky to get it done. And often, of course, they can retaliate immediately because where there's one hard braking zone, there will soon be another. And competitiveness of this EuroNASCAR 2 grid is plain to see. Here comes Thomas Toffel. He was just diving there to the inside, I believe, of Benedetti. So I think he's moved up 2 places on this lap already, because he's already passed Viti Riala in at the number 90 on this lap. So he's working his way back up into the top 10. Bear in mind, he started all the way down in 25th position. So he is more than likely going to be on his way to the points, the bonus points for most positions gained, all things going well, which Patrick Schulber would probably have liked for himself. As Claudio Remeggio Capelli looks to the inside at turn 2, he was a bit too far back to try it, and now that's going to scrub off some momentum. Martin Dubek isn't going to do anything crazy there from 3rd position. And Claudio Remeggio Capelli, I think, maybe was just a bit too far back and then a bit too shallow into the corner, having a little speculative look to the inside. Of course, that's all well and good, but when you've got that train of cars behind you, you really don't want to be out of position where one driver gets through. There's always a chance that multiple others could follow.
Yeah, definitely, and I really like the call by race control to just let the car stand there. I think they're in a quite safe place. We saw Kenko's and Luli's car there stranded on the grass, but race control opted to not go to full course yellow or safety car. The cars are in a safe place, therefore we can go racing here. 6 of 15 laps already in the books, and Gillinsta has a lot of work to do to keep Claudio Remeggio Capelli behind him. And then there's somebody lurking, just looking for the opportunity to maybe make another position. That's Martin Dubek, the championship leader. Right now in front, everybody's playing it a little bit safe, but I'm really impressed by Thomas Toffel. He started dead last without a single lap in qualifying. The team had to repair the engine, and they are back on track, and Thomas Toffel shows what he's capable of, coming from dead last now to 11th place, and now he has Victor Neumann in front of him. He has to now close a gap of around 3 seconds, but with the pace he has a good opportunity to go into the top 10. Thomas Krassonis here in the 46 car, fielded by Marco Stipp Motorsport, still behind Martin Dubek and in front of Jack Davidson. So they're all, Adam, looking for opportunities, but at the moment nobody is really that aggressive or that risky to try something, because they know if they do something crazy, somebody's just waiting behind to take over that position.
This is such a huge queue of cars, 7 split by 2.5 seconds. No one in this queue is completely comfortable, I can assure you. You can see how close they run to the grass as well. We saw Thomas Toffel at one point early in the race getting a bit unsettled on that grass going into the first of the chicanes. You do have to be so careful through those chicanes for sure, and he is running so well though. He is on good laps, and the thing is as well, of course, unlike pretty much everyone ahead of him, he's now had a couple of laps here of clean air, and that could put him right up the order for Sunday, of course, because this is in essence, as well as a race, it's a qualifying session for tomorrow. Fastest lap will be pole sitter for Sunday. And right now, Toffel is putting in great sectors. In fact, he's just set the fastest second sector of anybody. So with that clear track ahead of him, Toffel currently has the fastest lap of the race, and could well be on the front row for tomorrow based on all of the action that's going on ahead of him.
Gillinsta still trying to defend this lead in the 50 Hendricks car, and he's succeeding at the moment. Claudio Remeggio Capelli always trying to find an opportunity to attack, but then we have Martin Dubek. But Dubek, I saw him racing in the past with way more aggressiveness, so I think he's really looking at the big picture. Every time he's backing up a little bit when there's an opportunity to attack Claudio Remeggio Capelli. That's not the Martin Dubek we saw a few years ago. He was quite aggressive. He always went for a gap when there was one. And now he really controls the championship. Not the race, but the championship. And that shows how mature he got over the years in EuroNASCAR after winning his first championship back in 2021. And in my opinion, he's doing exactly what he needs to do, just to maintain good points, a good lead in the championship, and do nothing crazy. Julian Rehberg still in the lead in the rookie trophy ahead of Victor Neumann. And here we have Thomas Toffel closing the gap, and with a 1 38.626. He has now the fastest lap of the race, so Thomas Toffel provisional on pole position for tomorrow's race right now.
And that would have been, I think, top 5 in EuroNASCAR Pro Quali as well. That's a very fast lap time from Thomas Toffel. He's got his eye in. Again, we've said it all year, but the rate of improvement for him in year 2, especially with the winter testing program he put in, has been incredibly impressive. He got better throughout his first year, but he is now a top contender in EuroNASCAR 2 and the EuroNASCAR Pro Challenger Trophy. Claudio Reggio Capelli drifting wide there into the first corner. That cost him a few hundredths of a second, but that can be all it takes with that many cars there in the queue. We're already over half distance in this race. It's Jill Linster that has led from the word go. Claudio Reggio Capelli is there in second place, has never been more than a second back from Linster over the course of this race distance. And frankly, none of these drivers in the top 8, as it now is, have been more than 5 seconds apart all race. It's incredibly evenly matched as Dombrowski has a look to the inside of Davidson. That's not going to work there, but that could then stack up the drivers behind him. Let's see if anyone's got a run there towards Villeneuve on him. Certainly Patrick Schauber looks like he's got a decent run at the very least, but he's not going to be close enough by the looks of it into the Villeneuve chicane. It is Linster, from Capelli, from Dubek, from Chrysonis, from Davidson, your top 5. Then it's Dombrowski, then it's Patrick Schauber, who, lest we forget, is second in the championship as of this moment. In 7th position, it's going to be a big loss for him versus Dubek, yes, but also versus Linster, who is behind him in the title fight. But Dombrowski goes straight on. Thomas Dombrowski goes straight on. That is a huge development for him. He was having such a good race. That puts Patrick Schauber up a position. But Dombrowski with an issue there. That is a big kick in the teeth for him. He was having a great run in that leading queue.
Thomas Toffel already entered the top 10, and now with Dombrowski using the emergency exit, Toffel maybe even 9th overall right now. So he's making his way into the top 10 from that last. What a stellar performance by Thomas Toffel in the 34 Race Art Technology Chevy Camaro. He's already ahead of Victor Neumann. And we have Julian Rehberg still leading the rookie trophy. But I don't have a calculator right now, but just with the calculations in my mind, Neumann was very close to Florian Richard, who is only in 16th at the moment in the overall standings. So with this race in the books, there may be a new leader in the rookie trophy with Victor Neumann. And Markus Stipp Motorsport, the team from Germany, they know how to win the rookie trophy. Last year they did it with Jack Davidson, when the Scottish driver who scored his first win in Brands Hatch in 2024 with Lux Motorsport, he was the one winning the rookie trophy with the team of Markus Stipp. So the outfit, the organization from Herford in Germany, they know what it takes to win a trophy. And at the moment, Victor Neumann could be the new leader in this special classification. In the Legend Trophy, Capelli still leads the road. And when we look the gap between Capelli and De Rood, I think it's going to be a very close call for tomorrow, when we have Capelli and De Rood fighting for the Legend Trophy, because they will be very close together in the overall standings.
Very compelling situations at play across all of the championships. In the lead battle, Jill Linster has maybe got his biggest lead so far. Yes, it's a whole second, Andre, after 11 laps. Here comes Dubek to the inside of Claudio Reggio Capelli. He is going to take a risk or two in this race. Couldn't quite get there, though. Remains in second position. Capelli, I don't think he saw it coming, but he wasn't close enough anyway, Martin Dubek, to get to the inside of the Italian on that occasion. But a little statement of intent from Martin Dubek, as if to say, well, if you're dropping off the leader, there's every chance I could have second place off you. The number 7 car has been strong all season. Both driver and I think team just found that little bit extra that they needed. Oh, Chrysonis gets loose at the first chicane. He cuts across the chicane. Now Patrick Schauber and Jack Davidson and Melvin Acroot are all there looking to try and move up. I don't think Chrysonis has ended up losing position, but Davidson has. Patrick Schauber has got through again. Cutting the corner there was Thomas Chrysonis. He's got to be careful with that. gaining an advantage over a chicane is certainly not permitted. Now he just lost the oh, actually no, Davidson gave him a tap there, so that's how the first chicane happened. I don't think the second run across the chicane was assisted, though. Nonetheless, a hairy moment there for Chrysonis, and again, he does have to be careful, especially with the second cut of the chicane there, not to gain an advantage while making a mistake.
Yeah, definitely. The first one, that was not his fault. He got a tap by Jack Davidson and he had to cut the chicane. But the second one, that was a completely different story. And I was at the driver's briefing and the race control said definitely do not cut the chicane if you gain an advantage or you make up its position by cutting the chicane. And it's Patrick Schober off track.
Patrick Schober has undone the good work to move up the field. That's a huge shame for Schober, the closest rival to Martin Dubeck in the championship. He has now dropped down to 9th position. Thomas Torfeld's miracle run through the field. He must have Teflon on his race suit this weekend. He is all the way up into 8th position. Field there just dispatching Ariana Casoli, incidentally, so they've all gotten past her. Oh, and Melvin de Groot getting a bit of a tap there from Jack Davidson as well. I think Melvin just trying to cut across Davidson. Davidson, who's lost another position there. So Davidson is now down in 6th place. He was briefly up to 5th when Schober went off the circuit. Now it is Melvin ahead, so up to top 5 for Melvin de Groot. And of course, that's really helpful for him as well, because he is gaining points back on Claudio Remeggio Capelli in 2nd in the Legend Trophy battle. This race, Andre, is really coming alive in the latter stages.
Yeah, and here we can see, yeah, it was just a little bit of a snap oversteer what happened to Patrick Schober. He was turning in and then the car just moved a little bit. He tried to correct it and then he lost a little bit of control and therefore he lost several places. So that's a big setback for Patrick Schober in the championship battle. At the moment we see Claudio Capelli, so that means that Gilles Linster at the moment has a comfortable lead because I don't see the 50 car close to the 5 car. So Linster...
No, he's not come across the line by the looks of it. Linster's gone missing.
What the hell is going on?
Your guess is as good as mine, friend. I know you've got to cross the track now for Victory Lane, but at this point, who's going to be there with you? I'm not sure. Andre, find out what you can,
okay,
my friend. But
goodbye.
Good luck down there in Victory Lane. Well, Gilles Linster has not crossed the line. He's 40 seconds ago. He was meant to be across the line according to the live timing system, and he has failed to come across the line. That is big news. Linster, again, I thought the exact same as Andre there. He's got a huge lead now. But no, he's not come across the line at all. I imagine we're going to see an abandoned car somewhere in the final sector of the lap. But that's huge news and a huge shame for Hendrix Motorsports, Luxembourg-based driver. Still not seeing the car anywhere. But unfortunately, Gilles Linster has not crossed the line. But that hands Claudio Remeggio Capelli the race lead. Martin Dubeck gets 2nd, and Thomas Chrysonis now faced with the potential of returning to the podium. Oh, and Thomas Tuffel, 6th position at the moment. He is having an incredible day at the wheel of the number 34. There is the 50 car. We can just see it on this wide shot on the inside of the penultimate corner. Oh, that's a huge shame for Linster. No further action for him in this race. We are on to the penultimate lap of it. Claudio Remeggio Capelli is leading the way, of course. He has won a race, but he didn't lead it on track. He wasn't the first one across the line to take the checkered flag. He would love to rectify that this time. Jack Davidson is under fire from Thomas Tuffel back there in 5th position. They're side by side there around turn 2 and indeed the first corner before it. Great battling going on just behind this top trio. Fights all throughout the top 10. An increasing number of stranded cars around the circuit as well. This race has been dramatic for sure. And it's Claudio Remeggio Capelli. The race has been weird, and it's the man with the beard that leads the way. And I see rain spots at the first chicane. as if we haven't got enough going on. The heavens are starting to intervene down at the Klein chicane. The top three navigate Villeneuve now, the second chicane of the lap. It's Capelli from Dubek from Chrysonis. I think, has Toffel got past Jack Davidson? I didn't quite spot it. No, Toffel is still there in P6 for the time being. We're getting a look back here at Jill Linster's car, very slowly exiting the picture of this race. Don't know what happened to Jill. It's not the first time he's had some mechanical woes this year. Every now and then it has just gone against the number 50 driver. And actually that's really a universal case across the number 50. Liam Hasemans has had the odd moment as well this year where things have just not gone his way. It's the final lap of the race for Claudio Remeggio Capelli. Just one more rotation of the circuit Zolder between himself and a second win in EuroNASCAR 2 in as many events. But Martin Dubek, the championship leader, who's about to further extend that championship lead and come within a whisker of definitively claiming the championship. He's there in second place, and if he gets half an opportunity to try and claim this win, I'm sure he'll go for it, but he's going to worry about Chrysonis behind. Melvin de Groot in fourth position as well. He's ascended through the order very nicely indeed. Then you've got Davidson, Toffel, Julian Ribberg having a strong run in seventh place just behind as well. Top four ever so slightly fanning out, with the exception of Chrysonis, who is right there with Martin Dubek. Patrick Schauber being down in 8th place, and Jill Linster being on the side of the road has a huge swing once again towards championship leader Martin Dubek in the title fight. He came in with a comfortable advantage. Oh, and to fell after a perfect race to this point. He's lost it there at the second last braking zone of the lap. I'm wondering if that's the rain having its effect right at the end. He'll still probably get bonus points for most positions gained, but he's lost 6th place there right at the end. For Claudio Remeggio Capelli, though, it's going to be another win. Martin Dubek shadows him home, but it's Claudio Remeggio Capelli for Alex Cappy, Academy Motorsport, who once again head to victory lane in the playoffs here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. It's Capelli from Dubek from Chrysonis, your top three. Melvin de Groot in fourth position. Jack Davidson claims a top 5 finish. Julian Ribberg in 6th place. A great result for Julian. I think that might be his highest overall finishing position yet. Thomas Toffel recovered to 7th place, just ahead of Patrick Schauber. Dombrowski in 9th place. Victor Neumann, runner-up in rookies, 10th overall. Viti Riala in 11th place. Roberto Benedetti in P12. Simone Giussani in 13th place, ahead of Nick Strickler and Florian Richard. Andres Beers and Mikael Bleekemolen have also crossed the line. It's not been a great race from Mario Ercoli. He's finished all the way down in 19th position. I think that car may have been faltering for him at a critical time. 20th place across the line will be Reza Sardeha, and Dominic Schack will be the last home. Ariana Casoli has already crossed the line in 22nd place, but this race has proven to be quite the head scratcher in many regards. But Claudio Remeggio Capelli is our race winner. Jack Davidson is dashing back to pit lane. But for Claudio Remeggio Capelli this time, not only did he win, but he was the first one across the line at the checkered flag. This is, Florian Richard hip checking Nick Strickler there through the first chicane. And got very, very airborne indeed there. That was fighting further back in the field for 10th position, I believe. In fact, no, sorry, 14th position. Richard trying to make up some places late in the game. Well, we had a feeling that the EuroNASCAR 2 story had a few more chapters in it. For Claudio Remeggio Capelli, that win is going to be huge for him. in regards to the Legend Trophy Championship battle. There's Capelli, though, heading towards victory lane. We're going to have a car in victory lane this time, thankfully. The overall impression that Jack Davidson was not very happy with how that race played out for him. We'll have to see if he confirms or denies that if we get a word with him. But the demeanor of the car post-race gave me the feeling that maybe he was not pleased. Nonetheless, the number 5 car has pulled up in victory lane. Claudio Remigio Capelli is there. And he, for the second time, will be in victory lane, but this time he got to see the flag first, and that will mean so much to him. And of course, the factor we talked about before the racing even began, winning late in the season, that has a huge benefit, a huge positive tick up for him, for the team. That tells you, right, we can fight for a title in 2025. 2 wins in 2 weekends. Yes, we can do it. And Capelli displays the number 2. He can't be too successful next year or he's going to run out of fingers. Pops off the roof of the car. And is once again a race winner. Will be joined by Martin Dubek and Thomas Chrysonis on that podium. Celebrations were completely jovial a month ago in Oschersleben, and I'm sure he's going to be just as delighted today. And we are now going to go down to Andre, who's in victory lane with Capelli.
Glasses first, yeah. What an amazing race. It's your second race win in EuroNASCAR and of course a big step in the Legend Trophy. How do you feel?
I feel good. I thought to have no chance because I lost the gearbox in the first lap, so it was pain. Then I lost the brake, but all the car was very good. So with the handling I can compensate the losing of brake, and I'm unhappy for Gilles because he was leading, but I don't know what has happened. I only see him losing power. I stay on left. At the beginning I thought, wow, it's yellow. It was something like this. Then I saw Dubek here, so no, it's not yellow. So go. Then Martin, no way to attack me because he's thinking about the championship, so I was relaxed. Thank you.
Can we just show a little bit? Can you come here very quickly? You can see now here the liver of the gearbox is missing. That's the issue that he had. That's why the hand is a little bit injured, but everything's fine. So now you know what's going to come next. The winner sticker for Claudio Remigio Capelli.
Here we go, Capelli. For the second time in as many weekends, is getting to celebrate. Perhaps it's starting to feel a little bit more normal now that it's happened a second time. And I'm sure he's going to be grinning all night about this. As will the Alex Caffey Academy Motorsport team. And members of that team now greeting him, congratulating him. Yeah, second time. What a great effort from him. Martin Dubek, of course, will have taken a huge leap forward in the championship as well, so I'm sure he is going to be buoyant down there, waiting for the podium as well. Has every reason to be happy. Thomas Chrysonis arriving on the scene as well, and he with a podium finish as well, third place on that podium. I believe we're going to have a word with Thomas Chrysonis. It looks like he's down there with Andre.
Yes, I have Thomas with me. Your second podium in EuroNASCAR, and it was a really cool race. 7 cars lining up, fighting for the podium positions. How was it for you?
It was stressful because I didn't have the pace exactly to pass the cars in front. I think we were on the same pace. I was a little bit quicker, but I didn't have that extra thing to make the move. But it's okay, we still have one more to go. We are closer than ever to the championship. We will still fight.
Markus, the motorsport is doing a lot of improvement this year. You are doing a lot of improvement. So the way you took seems to be the right one, right?
Yes. I think, as I mentioned every race, that the work we do with the team, with Alon, it's incredible. We are improving a lot. But also I want to say two more things. I want to thank my sponsors, because without them nothing would be possible. Costa Mare Shipping and Odoni International. And also I would like to say my condolences to the family of George Baldock, Greek national team player who passed away 2 days ago. So yeah, this race, let's say it's dedicated to him and his family, and I hope that we never see this type of incidents again. So yeah, all good, the work is paying off and we have one more to go.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations, Thomas Carzonis. Back to you, Adam.
Carzonis with a third place finish. That puts him provisionally to third in the standings. I have some standings courtesy of the great work of Razor from the EuroNASCAR team. He says 506 points for Martin Dubek, provisionally speaking. That gives him a 45-point advantage over Patrick Schauber. That is huge for him. That is a big cushion. Thomas Carzonis in third place now. He moves up to third in the standings, ahead of Thomas Toffel in fourth place, Jack Davidson in fifth, Melvin de Kroot in sixth, Jill Linster from third in the standings to seventh. That is the effect of a mechanical issue this late in the season, with double points available in playoffs. Capelli, our winner today, moves up to eighth, tied with Thomas Dombrowski, and 10th position for Victor Neumann in the rookie trophy lead. And the other fun stat here, Martin Dubek, 19th, will win him the championship, we're told. Let's go back down to victory lane.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm here with Patrick Brendörfer, team owner of Remotion, and we saw Julian Rehberg really with a good comeback, a great race in the rookie trophies. You must be very proud, right?
Yeah, of course, because this was very important for the points. And yeah, he was pretty fast, so some sequences of the race he was faster than the front, and he made a brilliant job today, yeah.
You saw the race, a lot of attacking cars lining up. Just as a racing fan, how do you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it also as a team owner, so I saw everybody's fighting very fair today, and it was a great race for all of us, and yeah, that's EuroNASCAR.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations, Patrick Brendörfer. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you very much, Andre. Great to get these insights from down in victory lane. Immediate reaction from the drivers of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. There is Martin Dubek's machine. A solid result from him. Did everything right, everything he needed to do in that race. And there's a look at the recovering Cal Racing 54. Of course, they've got a lot of work to do now to get Lily Del Castillo out in race number 2 for EuroNASCAR on Sunday morning, and of course for Gianmarco Ercoli in the pro race as well. So that will be a consideration for sure. The dancing and the celebrations continue from Alex Caffey Motorsport, and indeed the cheerleaders who are having a great time down there. Capelli's car in victory lane, and so is Andre. Let's go back again.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm here with Alex Caffey, part owner of the Academy Alex Caffey Motorsports team. Another win for Claudio Capelli. How happy are you?
Oh yeah, we are really happy. It's a big weekend for us because Federico Monti, the co-owner with me of the team, was winning the race and the championship in the club just Thursday. So was the first championship for the team. That is important. But no, we are very happy for Claudio because he's a very fast driver. He grew so much during the season, and he scored the second victory today. With a little bit more experience and lucky during the season, I think he could also fight for the championship. But it's the first season, complete season with us, and I hope that will be a good proposition for next year. We'll see.
All right, grazie mille. Thank you so much. That's your umbrella. Thank you so much. So we have no Martin Dubek anymore because we have to start with the podium celebrations. We had him there, but we have to stop now.
No worries, Andre. Martin Dubek, 19th or better tomorrow, will give him the championship. That's the big headline coming out of this. Realistically, a finish. A solid finish will do him all he needs at this stage. Of course, will be very interesting to see how tomorrow's race shapes up. Thomas Toffel set for pole position. He had the fastest lap of that race, and Claudio Remeggio Capelli will be right there with him on the front row too. Thomas Toffel then we'll be having a good one. Personis on the podium. Martin Dubek up to P2. Here comes the race winner, Claudio Remeggio Capelli, to the top step once again. But Martin Dubek will be sat on that second step of the podium, I'm sure, with a hearty grin. He knows he's made a big stride today. Top three are on the podium and will now receive their trophies and begin their celebrations into the evening. For Thomas Personis, this race has had a big positive effect. The positive swing for him rather contrasts with the negative swing for Gilles Lindstedt. That third position, a very valuable one for him. He's now 19 points off of Patrick Schauber. It is possible for Personis to maybe claim vice championship status. Nathan Stewart presented the trophy to Personis. Wim Isabit presented to Dubek, and Benjamin Delat presenting to Claudio Capelli. Our race winner here in EuroNASCAR 2. The next step involves some bubbly. After the pictures are taken, a little bit of celebration left to go. I think for Dubek, he can start to let his hair down a little bit. He needs to finish tomorrow. He knows that. Patrick Schauber will be right up there in the top of the field this time on Championship Sunday. The celebrations begin for Dubek, for Capelli. The champagne showers from the beard with powers. Some more media obligations as we again get a look at the champagne spray. Thomas Personis was very keen to avoid getting sprayed there. I think he is now laser focused. Of those three, he's certainly the one I think now with the most pressure. Perhaps a better championship result than he ever could have pictured coming into the playoffs is now within grasp for him. As for Martin Dubek, I'm going to say a hand and 4 fingers on that championship. Just the thumb left to go. Next up then, it is the Legend Trophy podium. This, of course, the categorization for drivers over 40 in EuroNASCAR 2, and it'll be Roberto Benedetti that comes up onto that podium first. Second place to Melvin de Groot. Claudio Regia Capelli to the top step yet again. And that, of course, has a huge effect on his potential to challenge De Groot for championship glory in Legend Trophy as well. The gap between the two of them is now 17 points. So Capelli still very much on the back foot in terms of the title race, but a difficult day for Melvin. Could see a late swing in the Legend Trophy. The presentations being completed then. Our thanks to Christophe Dur and Nancy van Steenkist for their presentations there. Up onto the top step, all the pictures. Roberto Benedetti gesturing away. One question I have is, what will the weather radar do tomorrow here at Zolder? We've had threats of rain so far this weekend. We've maybe even had the odd spit of rain, but it's yet to have a true effect on this weekend. Let's see what Sunday brings in that regard. The legends, the old heads, they should know a thing or two about racing in the rain. What will it do for the Rookie Trophy participants? They are next out there onto the podium. Of course, the Rookie Trophy, as you'd expect for drivers in their first season in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And here comes our Rookie Trophy podium. It will be Viti Riala. Young Finn up to the third step of the podium. Victor Neumann in second position. He has that Rookie Trophy title in his sights. He leads those points right now, not by a massive amount, but by enough. Even one is enough. Julian Ribberg, with one of his best races of the year for sure, 6th overall, and claiming that Rookie Trophy win. I think Promotion have a very strong young talent in that 77 car. Year 2 for Ribberg could be very interesting. Trophies being presented. Rex Girardin presenting the trophy there. Second place trophy to Nathan Stoer, who perhaps gave the best start command of the year before the EuroNASCAR Pro race earlier on. And Boris Huber presenting the trophy to Julian Ribberg, the winner in EuroNASCAR 2's Rookie Trophy for this race. Top 3 share the top step. One more trophy to go, and that, of course, will be for the Lady Trophy category. Ariana Casoli set to jump up onto the top step there. Luli Del Castello falling by the wayside, of course, with damage at the tail end of the race. In fact, rather at the very front of the race, I should say. First lap, Luli Del Castello and Kenko Miura having an incident. Luli Del Castello up onto the podium. He's already secured the Lady Trophy title for this year in EuroNASCAR 2. Luli Del Castello only, of course, on a partial campaign. Everyone comes in for the picture there, including Jeanette Geldof, who presents the trophy. Here's our final podium presentation of the day here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, of course. Tomorrow is the big one. Championships on the line for EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. Both our championship leaders look somewhat secure, but nothing is ever certain in EuroNASCAR. Join us at 11:05 Central European Summer Time for the Sunday racing, and then 1:30 p.m. for the EuroNASCAR Pros as well. So 2 more races to bring you. The final day of the 2024 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series is just 1 sleep away. We very much look forward to bringing you all of that action and more as we wind the clock down on the 2024 season. Make sure you join us. Stay with us for all of the action on Sunday. We'll see you for the conclusion in less than 24 hours' time.